Hi everyone, my name is Brittany Perilla, and today I'm going to be talking about safe playgrounds and the importance of maintaining a safe playground. The purpose of this presentation is to explain that the number one reason why children are getting injured is from playgrounds, and that parents need to be aware and check playgrounds first before they let their children on them, and most parents do not do that. Playgrounds are fun for children, and they don't think of the consequences that could go into what it means to not be having a safe playground. And safety rules should be listed at playgrounds. There are most playgrounds that have safety signs within their playground facility that tells you their rules and regulations and what is expected at that playground. But then you may come across a playground that does not have a sign. And if a playground does not have a sign, we would like to be aware of what we should be doing to maintain a safe playground. Overview and rationale. Safe Playgrounds is an acronym which means supervision, age-appropriate design, fall surfacing, and equipment maintenance. This means that to ensure that we have a safe playground, we need to make sure there's proper supervision. It is the age-appropriate design for which the child you are taking to the playground is going to. Fall surfacing, which means that we need to make sure that if a child falls, they're going to be falling on something that won't injure them and will not hurt them. And equipment maintenance. There are many playgrounds that have really loose or old equipment, and we need to be aware of these playgrounds in order to keep our children safe. Not all playgrounds are meant for every child. That means that some playgrounds are meant for older children and some are meant for younger children, and we need to be aware of what that playground is having and telling us, because if it's a smaller playground with smaller slides and smaller equipment, that means it's for younger children, and we don't want older children to be there to injure the younger children, and vice versa. For when the playground's bigger, we don't want younger children going on that playground to cause them injuries because they're not in the right appropriate playground facility. Also, playgrounds are not meant for every child because children with disabilities, they have difficulty with playgrounds because there are not playgrounds out there that are suited for them. Not all playgrounds are suited for them. So it's always good to be aware of the type of playground you're going to be on. 75% of non-fatal injuries occur on public playgrounds. This means that children are falling, hurting their arms, legs, they're just injuring themselves, and 75% is a large number to be having for children to be getting injured within playgrounds when it's supposed to be a fun environment that children could just let free and do what they want. Girls sustained injuries is 55%, which that's a very high number for playgrounds. And then boys sustained injuries is 45%. And this just shows that it's not because the children are not being cautious, and people also say that boys are sometimes rougher than girls, but this isn't this is proof that not all statistics are right, but the girls are becoming injured. It's not because they're being careless, it's because of the design of the playground or how they're acting at the playground, even the same with the boys. The research study, one is enhance the physical, emotional, and social skills. Playgrounds are meant to make children be more active, but also gather their emotions. They could be happy, sad, laugh. Anything that gets a child happy or emotional comes from the playground. And also social skills. Many children are so outgoing that they will talk to anybody, and that's very good for their social skills because when they are on playgrounds, it lets them be free and just talk to anybody they want, to where they could just be themselves and make new friends. 40% of playground injuries is inadequate supervision. This means that parents or teachers, whoever is taking the child to the playground, are not fully being aware of what the children are doing to cause them to get injuries. Not all injuries have to be serious, but even if a child falls, that is still an injury. And as an adult, we should be more aware and cautious of what is happening. Maintenance is 30% of playground injuries. Maintenance injuries mean that there may be loose bolts, there may be sharp materials within the playground, there also may be rust or some sort of unusual look of the playground to cause the children to get injured. And then it also refers back to safe playgrounds and how we want to make sure that all aspects are safe of the SAFE acronym are implemented when we are taking children to playgrounds to ensure they are having a safe time, but also a fun time. Research study number 2 is it's about how children with disabilities have a lot of difficulties when they go to playgrounds because many playgrounds are not suited for children with disabilities, and we do not realize that the type of emotions they are feeling because they already can't do what children can't do. And when they go to playgrounds, they want to be able to be free and have fun like all the other children. But within this study, it's not that case. The children are becoming more emotional and upset because of the lack of openness of the playgrounds that are letting them. Many of the playgrounds are not suited for these children, which is a huge problem and should be changed because we don't realize that the playgrounds are not suited for these children the way they should be. Children with disabilities, going to playgrounds helps them gain communication skills. Many children with disabilities already feel so left out because of whatever type of disability they have. And when they go to a playground, they are excited to talk to other kids and they want to just interact with others. But because the playgrounds aren't equipped for the children, it makes them feel left out, which is not right, and it should not be like that. So I think that we should try to make a change within our society to allow students with disabilities to have more options with playgrounds to where they can feel wanted and included within the playgrounds. Many schools do not offer a playground for children with disabilities. They might have some sort of resource inside of the school to where children can play, but outside of the school where the playgrounds are, many of the children cannot play outside because of the disability, and the playgrounds are not suited for the children, which that's become a huge problem within schools because the children are having many difficulties going outside, causing them to become very emotional and feel like they are not a part of everything, and makes them feel less of themselves, which they shouldn't because of their disability. But we have to realize that playgrounds sometimes offer the swings for children with disabilities, but that's it. And they should be implementing like certain slides or even like a little playgrounds where children with wheelchairs can go, or any type of children with a disability to where they could just be free in them and who they are as a person. Research study number 3 is that there are many different things that go into playgrounds. It's not just we see a slide, a swing, or anything like that. It goes about the maintenance, the structure, the layout of the design, and why that playground is being created. Surface materials under the playground equipment is a huge problem within playgrounds because many children have been playing on rock climbing walls within the playground and falling off and becoming injured because they are not having the proper layout underneath. Anything over 6 feet doubles the injury, and many playgrounds are over 6 feet. And if the children don't have a safe surface to fall onto, they are starting to get injured because of falling off the playgrounds or falling off of whatever they are on. Positive sightlines is very important within this study because positive sightlines means that people should have a perfect sight of their children at all times while on playgrounds. which just means that if you are across the playground, your child is on the other side, then you should be able to see that child, but only 86% of people can see their child they are taking to the playground, because the huge problem with this is that there are tunnel slides that get in the way, or taller rock walls, or whatever type of equipment there is at that playground is getting in the way of the sight of the adult who is taking the children to the playground. Most playgrounds are a C+. This means that they are rated a C+ due to maintenance and structure and quality to where the children can be safe. A C+ is a very low rating to have as a playground, I feel, because since children are going to these playgrounds, I would hope that they would at least be an A, because children want to be free and have fun, and knowing that your child is on a C+ playground doesn't really satisfy you enough to where you would want to take them to those playgrounds. Research study number 4 is about the changes are being made to playgrounds every year. There are millions of dollars being spent on playgrounds, and we keep changing them every year. This means that we are making them bigger, we are putting more equipment into our playgrounds, we are changing the design. Since no playground is the same, if you go to a playground and you then go to another playground the same day, they may have same type of equipment, but it's not going to be the same layout. It's not going to be the same slide. It's not going to be same swings. Each playground varies because of the layout, and the purpose of this is because we want to make children become more engaged and explore, which it is the reason why we are creating these playgrounds. Proper installation is an issue with playgrounds. Once playgrounds are installed, there is rarely any maintenance that goes into checking to see if those playgrounds are still secure for the children to play on, which causes them to get lacerations, contusions, abrasions, fractures, strains and sprains, and concussions, because they're either falling off playgrounds or they're falling when they're running around, and what they fall on is either mostly mulch or sand, and those are not the best types of structure at the bottom of the playground for children, because mulch is hard wood chips that could injure children, or get stuck in them, or it could be very dangerous for children to be falling on that. And we think of sand as a great falling point for children if they did fall, because sand is soft and it's not bad. But when a child falls from a high area in the playground and they hit the sand becomes very hard because of the fall, and that could lead to very serious injuries within children. And also, children could choke on the sand because they don't see anything wrong, or if they fall, they could fall face first and they could swallow the sand, which is very dangerous for them. There have been many deaths within playgrounds because of children falling or the lack of maintenance, because many playgrounds after time have wear and tear. And this means that the swings are falling, so children will be swinging on the swings and the bolts may come loose, or the strings on the swing may be rusted, to where it just collapses on the children and the children will fall. And then also there are rough patches within the playground, which means that children are getting injured because playground is starting to stick up, or it's starting to get dented, or it's just very unsafe for them. Proposed intervention is that to make playgrounds safe for children, we need to start with a change. We need to try our best to be more aware of the playgrounds children are at, since many teachers and parents are properly informed of what a safe playground really is. Since when you think of a playground, you think of safety because it's meant for children, but in this case, most playgrounds are not safe for children, and we do not realize that. And as parents and teachers, we have to be more aware of where our children are playing in order to keep them safe. And we need to look out for dangerous things, not just with the playground, but the surroundings. We have to make sure that the children have a comfort around the playground. We have to look out for bottles and cigarettes and garbage and any type of debris that could be harmful for our children. More supervision is needed within playgrounds. Parents and teachers get very distracted while we're on the playground because the children are playing and having fun, and we don't think that anything could happen to them. So we just get distracted sometimes, and it's very important to become more aware with our surroundings, especially dealing with children on playgrounds, since this is the number one reason why children are becoming injured, since they are playing and falling or just getting cut on the playground structure. We have to make sure that playgrounds are for all children when we attend them. We have to make sure that we have the age-appropriate playground for our children. We don't want them to go on the wrong one and injure themselves or other children. And making playgrounds accommodating for children with disabilities is a big issue that needs to start being resolved in order so all children could be happy and safe within playgrounds. So this is my video on my presentation on safe playgrounds. Thank you for listening.